guys, what's up? I'm going to do a small little video on some tips on helping with the basic cross choke. I was in a conversation on Twitter the other day, and New to Jiu-Jitsu brought up a question asking what he thought was the best submission for beginners to learn from inside the guard, and in my opinion I said cross choke. Conversation started where a couple people were saying that they have struggling problems with cross choke. So here's some tips on how to help it with your game and some things like that. First, we're going to work on our basic hand movements, and then we're going to work on the gi. The first one is just getting a movement where we're coming back and forth, bringing our arms up, working on our angles, our elbows down to our hips, coming up. When I bring my hands up, I want to slide so I can touch the back of my hands like I was doing a reverse clap. Come down, opposite side. Getting into the habit of bringing our hands together for contact. In, back and forth. Once you get the feel for it, pick up the speed, and then try to make nice clap with your hands. After we get in the habit of this with the drills, we're going to work on what I like to call climbing the gi. We're going to come in and we're going to work one hand at a time, simulating us climbing up the collar of the gi. So we come in, hands touch, 1, 2, 3, climb, come back, 1, 2, 3, climb, come back, climb up and back. Now, once our grips are in, the 4 steps to finishing the cross choke. We come in, we want to get our hands to touch the side of the neck, grabbing our gi, turning our hands in, creating the space, making it even tighter. We went from about 2 inches to about a ½ inch on tight. So step 1, we bring our hands in, we get our fingertips to touch. Step 2, we grab our collar right there and make our fists nice and strong. This tense up our muscles in our wrists, making everything a lot tighter. Step 3, we turn our pinkies in toward us. Step 4, we're pulling our elbows down to our hips, just like we did for that movement here. I don't want to pull out because he can push my arms in, and I give him room to swim in and defend. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. By step 2, he should be worried about this choke. So now, once we're in here, I'm going to work my setup, bringing my hand all the way in, making contact against the neck. The biggest mistake beginners make is when they're in here, there's no contact and they're trying to pull like this. Your hands aren't deep enough. I get 1, I lift my elbow, and I swim. Now is when I climb and make my fingertips touch around his neck. Step 2, step 3, 4. When we're coming in, around his neck, make contact. Right here, there should be no space. 1, slide in, climb, make your grip. This is where you should feel it get really tight. Step 3, I'm pulling in, I'm finishing pulling him down into me. Did you have dinner yet tonight?
No.
Go in detail on what you're going to have for dinner tonight, please.
I'm going to have some fish, some vegetables, and
By step 2, once we're in here, I'm making it tight. Now I showed a variation where I like to come over. When I usually teach this, it's off of him blocking and high-fiving my hand as I'm swimming under the block. So I swim over, getting the ridge in my hand that touch the neck. I do this little curve where I put my hand in backwards, and then I turn it to grab the collar, right here on the shoulder. The reason I like to do that is because if I just come over here, once my elbow makes contact, it triggers grab. But I'm so far away from the neck still. So I swim, grab, and this elbow drops down as I bring them in, and finish. It's not that I prefer one over the other. Sometimes this may work, sometimes I have to go here. And then I grab. When I finish there, it's the same movement down to my hips. So again, 1, basic, climb, pull them down, come in, swim over, grab, pull them in. Get used to bringing your legs in too. This is going to help making it easier. Now for a more strategic approach to it, I pull my hand away for a little bit, just so I take away the thought of choke. And I may even grab his arm for a split second, let him feel like I'm going to try to go for a sweep, and then I come in for my choke. And I come in, my hand comes back to the neck. Squeeze. And I'm going to close that space. So, again, working movements. Try to build a flat motion. And then grip. Bring your pinkies in, elbows down. So I hope that helps with some people with their cross strokes. It made a huge difference in mine once I started making sure my hands were in the right position. And then again, turning your pinkies in, you can see how the space disappears. That's going to tighten as my thumbs go into the arteries, tightening up the choke. So I hope that, again, I hope that answers some questions. Check out New to Jiu-Jitsu. They have a really nice thing going on, trying to help out beginners. And good luck, guys.